Thank you, Vikram. And I'd like to begin by congratulating 1.4 billion brothers and sisters in India. 140 करोड़ देशवासियों को बधाई देना चाहूँगा. Just like Foreign Secretary just articulated in great detail, this visit is extraordinary. It goes far beyond a free trade agreement. It goes far beyond the humongous potential that is being unlocked with the free trade agreement. It is truly a statement of deep partnership and the strategic intent of the European Union and India coming together in a multitude of areas to strengthen our partnership, to work together for the shared prosperity and a better future for 1/3 of humanity. It is a reflection that when 25% of global trade decides to strengthen the strategic partnership, including with the free trade agreement, it unlocks the doors to defense cooperation, greater investments, to cooperation in the field of innovation and science, to further integration of financial markets. And therefore, I would term this visit, as very rightly pointed out by the Honorable Foreign Secretary, as a game-changing and transformational visit in terms of the strategic partnership between European Union and India. And therefore, I think congratulations are in order to Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, to Her Excellency Ms. Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the European Commission, and His Excellency Mr. Antonio da Costa, the President of the European Council. They have provided visionary leadership, which has further been strengthened with colleagues from almost all parts of government in both the European Union and India. Everybody playing their role to prepare the roadmap and lay the foundation for a very powerful economic, geopolitical, and strategic partnership of the 21st century. We are also very pleased to have concluded negotiations on, as Ms. von der Leyen herself has articulated, the mother of all deals, a free trade agreement which covers 25% of global trade. It is our 8th free trade agreement under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, each and every one of them with developed nations and collectively reflecting an agreement between India and 36 developed nations, with these 27 of the European Union, 4 from the FTA, 31 and 6 more, 37 developed nations and India have entered into free trade agreements in a short span of 4 years under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Friends, this breakthrough in the EU-India trade relations comes after 20 years. You're all aware the discussions were launched in 2006. 16 rounds of negotiations were held. Sadly, in 2013, efforts were aborted and almost nobody ever imagined the European Union and India being able to come up with such a robust partnership framework as has been finalized by our leaders today. In fact, when we relaunched negotiations in mid 2022 and laid the initial foundational work, prepared our game plan and way forward, we had elections in India and then in the European Union through 2024. So the heavy lifting for this FTA really started after the historic visit of the European Union trade commissioners led by Ms. von der Leyen in February 2025. And I think it's been the labor of love of the entire government in European Union and India, burning the midnight oil, persevering, working in a spirit of cooperation, India negotiating with self-confidence, both sides agreeing to focus on what is good for both set of countries, the European Union and India, leaving the sensitive issues aside, and therefore coming up with a very balanced, equitable, and fair free trade agreement, which is a win-win for all sections of industry, both in India and European Union, opening up plethora of opportunities for investment, opening up markets which are complementary, with India gaining access significantly in labor-intensive industries like marine products, chemicals, footwear and leather, plastic rubber goods, textiles, apparel and clothing, gems and jewelry, furniture, sports goods, toys, and the European Union industries gaining access to the large and fastest growing economy of India in innovation, technology, sectors of precision engineering, and areas where India continues to look for partnerships and technologies from across the world. Friends, this agreement covers almost 99% of the total exports that are sent from India to the European Union and about 97% plus of the total exports from European Union to India, something which is unprecedented and reflects the strength and the depth of this agreement. We have tried to address the asymmetry in economic development between the two nations with different per capita incomes, with transitional periods, but ultimately focusing on the complementary strengths of both economies such that all 28 countries will stand to benefit. Collectively, the European Union today imports nearly $6.5 trillion worth of goods and nearly $3 trillion worth of services. India plays a very small role in that. Our total exports are currently just about 1.5% of the goods import into Europe and barely 2.5% of the services import into Europe. With this massive opening up of opportunities, the European Union has also opened up many new sectors. India has opened up many new sectors in the services space. We can see a big thrust to the services sector. As I said, on marine products, almost 94% of the tariff lines, and almost the entire value of goods that are exported are going to get duty-free access. As I said before, areas like textiles, apparel, home decor, furnishing, where India has very serious labor-intensive interests, 100% of the European market will be open for business from day one. And I can give you more details, but we have furnished those details to all the members of the press, whether it's furniture and lighting or other consumable goods. Almost all of our exports are going to get duty-free access from day one. Likewise, for toys, for sports goods, for railway components, aircraft parts, also in leather and footwear. These are areas which are of significant interest to India. Similarly, India will open its doors for greater import of auto components, automobiles, wines, spirits, and other areas of interest to the European Union, with both sides having ensured that sensitive items are kept out of the ambit or given sufficient transition period for adjustment of the industry and economic cycles. For example, from the context of the European Union, their interest was more in larger automobiles, since they do not make automobiles which are under 15 or 20,000 euros in big measure. We in India produce largely automobiles which are smaller in size and lower in cost. So we've been able to come to a very amicable understanding where the auto industry in Germany is very happy, getting greater access in a phased manner in areas of their interests, while Indian industry is very happy that we've been able to protect their areas of interest in the smaller and low-cost automobile sector. And this is the story that's been repeated in sector after sector. So I believe we are offering today to the world an agreement which is unprecedented in scale, in terms of market access. It will support Make in India and support industry in the European Union. It opens up plethora of opportunities for investments on both sides. We have seen large investments flow from Europe to India, which can now grow manifold. At the CEO Business Forum, one of our industry conglomerates was mentioning that they have already invested $70 billion in Europe. And therefore, I see this as a partnership where both sides will get a lot of opportunities in trade, in investment. It provides stability of policy, predictability of tariffs and rates, and it provides certainty to business, which is the sine qua non to successful trade and engagement between two large economies. Europe is, of course, a $20 trillion plus economy. India, being the fastest growing large economy, will become a $30 trillion plus economy by 2047 and catch up very rapidly with the developed world. And together, we will work for the shared prosperity and better future for 2 billion people in Europe and India. Thank you very much, friends, and I look forward to a very successful journey through trade, through investments, through all the various areas articulated by Foreign Secretary, be it mobility, be it our strategic and defense partnership, be it our innovation partnership, be it our partnership on scientific discovery, research and development, being our partnership to further our interests in multilateral organizations where we work together for the good of humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We now open the floor for some questions. Please raise your number or your hand, and then I'll identify you. Can we go there? 183.